Alright, so welcome back for some more Detention on the PC. This is chapter 4, the last chapter of the game, okay? So, this is where we wrap up everything, and I think I forgot to mention in the first video that there are two endings to this game, okay? The most common ending you'll get your first playthrough is most likely the bad ending, okay? Because you really need to understand the story and what happens like throughout the game and stuff, and really pay attention in order to get the good ending, okay? And I'll do my best to explain how to get the true ending, or the good ending, as opposed to the bad ending. Okay, so like I said, I'll be showing you guys how to get the good ending here, and then at the end, I will show you guys how to go ahead and get the bad ending, okay? The reason why I'm doing it like that is because there's a lot more involved in doing the true ending than there is the bad ending. You need to really focus and think hard to get the true ending, the good ending, okay? So, if you remember when we left off, we saw someone standing here next to this chair, and he walked off stage. We will see him again throughout this chapter. When we see him again, I'll tell you who he is, okay? For now, let's just carry on. There's nothing else to do here. We can't go through this door, so we'll go through here. Now, there's an altar over here to save. I'm not going to save my game. There's nothing in here. Don't know why. We can have a look at this. Okay. What the hell was that about? And there's crying in the background as well. I think someone threw a rock or something through the window. I don't know. Really, really freaky. Anyway, so throughout this chapter, we'll encounter 4 of these versions of Ray, okay? And each of them will ask us questions, and to get the good ending, you need to answer them correctly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to explain why the answers are what they are. I don't know for sure how to explain them because it's still very confusing to me. But I will still show you how to get the answers, like which ones to choose, okay? If you answer the questions incorrectly, then you'll get the bad ending. Doesn't matter how many you answer correctly afterwards. Doesn't matter if you've answered all of them. It doesn't matter if you answered all of them correctly up until the last one. If you answer even the last one incorrectly, you will get the bad ending at the end of the game, okay? So make sure to get the good ending. Answer all these questions correctly. Our life would vanish, but not our guilt. I am you, yet you are not me. It's the sin that makes you linger in this realm. So I'm guessing this is limbo or something. Memories, like mirrors reflecting the true likeness of your soul. In a world full of pain and suffering. Fang Shin, what do you fear the most? The correct answer is losing myself. Losing my family wouldn't make sense. If you've been paying attention to the story, these two don't make sense, okay? Losing my family, she really lost her family, okay? Ray's father's a drunk, and Ray's mother didn't do anything. And she lost her family a long time ago, okay? Losing my life doesn't make sense because we already saw Ray throw herself off of the roof. So that doesn't make any sense. And I'll explain that a bit more at the end of the game. Losing myself is only correct answer, okay? Because she is herself. She is alone, and she is who she is. I don't quite know how to explain why this one is correct, because throughout the game, how she's been acting, she's always been herself, never changing at all, okay? So the correct answer is losing myself. Believe that we are all born free, see? Eager to walk on your own path, and afraid of losing yourself. You are me. So, another way to know that you've answered correctly is if this version of Ray sort of tells you a whole series of things and says you are me. If you answer incorrectly, it'll just stay silent. And then this changes. So, we'll head out. And now we're in the school. And if you remember from the prologue chapter, because I'm pretty sure this is, we come from Wei's classroom here. I'm not entirely sure, but if you remember from the end of the prologue chapter, when Wei was running, everything sort of started looking like this. Like I said, it'll make so much more sense in chapter 4, and now it does. So we'll head upstairs. And head into this room here. There's nothing else to do here. I don't think. I don't remember anything else to do. Talk to this spirit over here. The way forward is the path to your past. However, the road ahead has crumbled. So as you can see, there's no way to get to the other side. Lead me anywhere and I will follow you like a shadow. Okay? So the reason why there's no question now is because this is a different spirit. Okay? The one who asks us the question is the one that we are right now. If this makes sense. Okay? Because when we come back here, we'll come back to ask. So we're going to turn into this one now. Okay? We need to get this version of Ray that side so we can go forward. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand what I mean by go forward, like stepping forward, moving on, and then we'll come back to ask this version of Ray a question. So we're gonna become this one, and she's the one who asks us the questions. Okay, so she won't move at all inside here, so we need to go outside, and when we go this way, she'll follow us. So we need to do a loop now. Sliding doors are wrapped in barbed wire. And you can't go into any of these places yet. These places are locked. Okay. Let's head downstairs. There aren't any enemies, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this, but from chapter 3 and 4, there aren't any more enemies. So we don't have to worry about Lingard or Lantern Spectres or anything like that. Who can be calling at a time like this? And the phone's ringing. Okay, let's head back inside this room and talk to the other version of Ray. Remember when you enrolled, so full of passion, participating in every school activity, showing off your academic abilities, grabbing the attention of your peers and teachers. Then things took a turn for the worse at home. All the attention quickly turned into unwanted scrutiny. So you chose to escape. To turn a blind eye is wrong, and grim acceptance is wrong, because she didn't accept any of it, she hated it, and to turn a blind eye, she always knew that it was there. Okay? So she chose to escape. The world is immeasurably vast. There is always a place to hide. You are me. Okay. This place is completely lifeless. Even ideas are buried here. And there's Wei and a friend of his, burning books. Remember to thoroughly destroy each book and add the spirit money to throw them off. There can't be any intact book pages, or else this will be for naught. Hey, Wei? You're closer with Miss Yin. I heard that she had to flee the country overnight. Is that true? I'm not sure. She never said anything about leaving. Unlike Miss Yin, we don't have the connections to guide us to safety. Aren't you afraid? Well, actually, what bothers me most is... Do you know how the reading list got leaked out? Okay, so if you remember from the beginning of the game, the opening cutscene, Inspector Bai walks into the classroom and says to Miss Yin, have you seen this list before? And Miss Yin was running a book club where they were reading prohibited texts. This is what this is referring to. The reading list got leaked out. Okay. I'll leave that there and we'll carry on with this cutscene. Stop asking questions, I'm as clueless as you. Let's just hurry up and finish this, we don't want to get caught. Hello? Okay, go ahead and pick up this. A written verdict from court. A written verdict from court, a torn piece of the verdict. Chung Ming-hui, district level educator, is found guilty with students Wei and others of collusion with communist forces. Chung Ming-hui is to be put to death after the court's ruling. Wei Ting pleads guilty to affiliation with communist forces. Reading of prohibited text with rebellious and corrupt thoughts. Will be sentenced to 15 years jail time. Interesting. And there's that dude again. That person there is Wei. Alright, he was the guy we saw on the stage. That's Wei. Just a much older version of him. The bonfire of hope is almost depleted, diminishing in the wind. And here's the book club. Some of the book contents might conflict with your everyday thoughts, but this material will help you engage in reflective and independent thinking. Well, let's call it a day. I do want to remind you all again to never mention the book club to anyone else. Okay? And Wei mentioned the book club to Ray. For that might put yourself and others in great danger. And Wei, I'd like to ask you a favor. Yes, Miss Shin, is it about the new books? I've already given the list to Mr. Chang. The list. He said the shipping company won't help us anymore, but he'll figure something out. The government is enforcing restrictions on all imports. Soon, the book club might come to an end. Miss Shin, why are things like this? I'm sorry, Wei, there's nothing I can do either. Oh, just one more thing before you go. Mr. Chang never brought us any of those books in the first place, right? I know I can always count on you. Alright, so let me quickly explain what's happening so this can make sense to you. So, if you remember, at the end of, I think it was at the end of chapter 2, we saw Ray and Wei talking, and Wei gives Ray the reading list. Okay? He gives her the reading list and tells her to be careful with it. And they spoke about Miss Yin and everything, and then at the end of the chapter we saw Ray pulling a gun on the reflection of Miss Yin, who was actually reflecting Mr. Chang, because what she did was she saw Miss Yin talking with Mr. Chang about separating them two, and Ray didn't like this, so she went to Wei to take the reading list and give it to Inspector Bai, you know, basically to rat out Miss Yin to the authorities and get her into shit. And then Ray didn't quite realize exactly how sensitive that reading list was and how many people it would have affected. And it's basically everybody who was involved in that the book club. So Miss Yin, the students, Wei, and Mr. Chang, all of them were involved. Okay, and Ray didn't realize the severity of all of this, so she gave it to Inspector Bai, and basically everything after that point was null and void, and she couldn't do anything to stop the avalanche she created, basically. So that's what this is referring to. And that, if you remember in chapter 2, that mirror scene where she fired the gun, which was the book club reading list. Basically, by doing that to Miss Yin, she doomed the man she loved, Mr. Chang, to death. So basically, that symbolized her with the book reading list, killing him. Because she basically sealed all of their fates and sealed Mr. Chang's fate by doing that. Very, very tragic. Clipping, blacklisted to return home for burial. Half a century in exile, blacklisted to return home for burial. During the period of martial law, Miss Yin Sui-han was a wanted political fugitive. She was lucky to evade arrest and left the country only to be blacklisted. She traveled the world fighting for human rights and freedom of expression, but unfortunately died of lung cancer at the age of 50. Her last wish was to be able to return to her hometown. Now this wish can be achieved with the lifting of martial law. Okay. So yeah. Nothing else to do in this room. So I'll explain a bit more about this at the end of the game. Or whenever I have the opportunity, like when it brings itself up. And there's Wei walking. We'll go ahead and follow him into this room here. This is the bathroom. There's a broom stuck in this stall here. The door is barred by a broom. There is a note on top of it. Snitcher. Remove the broom. Here we go. So let's go through. And this room is all warped and weird and shit. You hear that? That is the tune that we played for that piano puzzle, and there's the 8-track player as well. Dun, 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 dun. And this is the music room as well. And there's Wei playing the piano. Dun, dun, dun. Love it. So good. Note entry. Note entry excerpt. That time in fear, forcing herself to breed hatred. Who knew that she would take that leap and leave this world behind? Nary a last word because of fear. Remorse. The reason remains undecided. I was left with a blur of confused thoughts spiraling through my mind. When I saw the sunlight again, things had changed drastically. My loved ones and teacher went to a higher place. She was buried in an unmarked grave, leaving me a decrepit man. So, if you remember, in, I think it was chapter 1 or chapter 2, we found an unmarked grave in one of the rooms with Wei's name on it. So, it showed, Wei's name, but it was an unmarked grave initially. Okay, that is actually in reference to Ray. Okay, and this here, the person who is writing this is Wei. Okay, when I finally saw the sunlight again, meaning when he came out of prison, the world had changed, and he was left a decrepit man, because everybody that he knew back then had died. And his friend Ray had also died. She actually committed suicide, by the way. So who knew that she would take that leap and leave this world behind? So if you remember that scene where she jumped off of the roof, that's what she did. So basically after ratting out Miss Yin and the book club and getting Mr. Chang killed and everybody else arrested, she was then labeled a snitch, basically, and people mocked her, hated her, and whatever. So there we go, forcing herself to breed hatred. She couldn't take the guilt, and she jumped off of the school building. Okay, that's what happened. So yeah, like I said, very melancholic, extremely sad. No other word to describe it, but just like really fucking sad. Okay, yeah, I can't examine that. Okay, let's go ahead and go to this door. Go ahead and save the game quickly. I don't think there's anything else to do in this room except for just save your game. And then we come back outside and it is different. Very quiet. There's a note on the cot. This is where the cot was, by the way. I love how quiet it is. You can hear frogs as well in the background. It's brilliant. Okay, let's go ahead and enter this room. Here's another one. Okay. So, we turn the light switch on, and she can't move. Okay. We need to get this version of Ray to this side here. Okay, where the road is blocked off. So we need to now go this way, turn this light on. As you can see, it's blocked off over here. So then we talk to this version and turn the light off. Go this way. As you can see, the light's on here now, and now we talk to this version of Ray. Acting immediately on one's determination, this is the philosophy he believed in. That someone should take fate into their own hands. So she's talking about Mr. Chang. And because Ray adored Chang, she believed in a lot of what he said. And this is the exact same thing. So that someone should take fate into their own hands. With you following him, what ideas do you hold? Take hold of your destiny is the correct answer. Live a laid-back life is wrong, like just completely wrong. Submit to one's fate. So Ray would never do this, okay? Judging by how she is and how she's been acting throughout the entire game, she would never just accept her fate. She always wanted to take hold of her own destiny, okay? Wanted to change things for herself. That is a charming thought. So life has gained a goal. Next to him, you found yourself. You are me. Such brilliant storytelling. I love it. Okay, and we're gonna go out this way now. No matter how many times this replays, nothing can be unwound. You can never redeem yourself. And have a look at this. Instructor by. This is the book list I mentioned before. I found it on our teacher's desk. Miss Fang, the country appreciates your assistance. Remember this line, Miss Fang, the country appreciates your assistance? This was said over the phone in that one thing. So that 025121, when we called that number in chapter 2, this was said over the phone. So that was the scene where Ray basically made her big fumble. Did you think finding something to rely on would stave off your fear? One day, however, he was gone just like that, because of Ray. You've lost everything you can depend on. What choice will you make now? The correct answer is try to take them back, okay? Quietly accept, again, she would never do this, and same thing with calm indifference. This is not how Ray is, okay? So the correct answer is try to take them back, because she would never just accept her fate. The instructor's sharp gaze was stifling. You steeled yourself and performed without hesitation. In that one moment, transforming into a pitiless patriot. Easier than you think, right? You are me. I have goosebumps. I just keep getting goosebumps so many times throughout this game because it's just phenomenal. And there's Wei going. So we'll follow him now to the roof. I think it's the roof that he's going to. We're actually almost at the end of the game now. Yeah. There's the roof. Now it's back to normal now. This is where Ray jumped off the building, by the way. And there's Wei having a smoke. Bloody hell. Okay, so yeah, this is basically the end of the game here. So, when you come from that roof, and you exit, so after you've seen Wei having a smoke there, and you come back through this door to these stairs, you'll be greeted by one of two things. If you're getting the good ending, you'll be greeted by this paper plane right here. Okay? If not, you'll see Ray standing over here. Yellowed paper plane. From the white deer to my white daffodil, fate holds us apart, so let us meet again in another life. To our freedom. So this is I'm guessing this is like symbolic to Mr. Chang's spirit, I guess, and his message to Ray. From the white deer to my white daffodil, fate holds us apart, so let us meet again in another life. To our freedom. Extremely tragic. Open the door. Cheng Minghui, you are suspected of spreading anti-government propaganda, smuggling banned books, and organizing illegal gatherings. The court has already obtained the necessary evidence. We now arrest you on the grounds of rebellious activities. Do not resist on pain of death. Well, they're gonna kill him anyways, so... And there's Mr. Cheng. Looks like it'll be difficult to escape this time. Fine. Take my head so that I may join my brothers and sisters in death. Why? Aren't people born to live freely? To think openly, to speak their minds without restriction or fear. Freedom of belief, love, and self-realization. Being with you was a happiness of the simplest and purest kind. I couldn't help but think, when we could be hand in hand, living an untroubled life. But in the end, it's only a fool's dream. I too am vain like the daffodils, fixated on my grandiosity. The world is not ready for the likes of us. This music, my dude, it's putting a tear in my eye. Literally.
白水先染上一河鲜血，只能如铁锈般凋零。
So, this is the end of the game. We need to walk forward now, because now look who we're playing as. We're playing as Wei again. Very, very nice. So, if you remember, we played as Wei in the beginning of the game. And now, at the end of the game, we're playing as Wei again. Alright? I love it so much. And I'm just reflecting on all that's happened thus far in the game. I love this game to death. I cannot praise this game enough. Okay? It's really... The game's music is awesome. The story is brilliant. Okay, you know what? I'll talk more about this when the credits roll. Okay? For now, we're just gonna go ahead and... go to the school. Oh yeah, and the reason why we saw Wei talking to... Sorry. The reason why we saw Wei wandering the school as we played as Ray is because of this. Basically, he came back to the school and was just walking through the school. Construction signboard. Evidence of vandalism alongside many signs of protest. Okay, so... Before I carry on, I want to have a read of Wei's notebook here. Amnesty certificate. A certificate of amnesty. Name Wei Ting. Type of pardon, amnesty. Crime declared invalid. So this happened because of the lifting of martial law. Okay. Thought I would rot in jail. I didn't expect to live past martial law. People say I'm a victim of politics. My crime was written off, but my youth is long past. Something lost can never be regained. So that's actually something very precious to someone. You know, childhood, your youth. I mean, Wei is now like probably 30 years old. Long since past his childhood, his youth. You know? Extremely tragic. Letters from home. A yellowed letter. My son Chung Ting. So Wei's name is actually Chung Ting, okay? Wei is his surname. My son Chung Ting. Even though I witness sickness and death on a daily basis, this still fills my heart with grief. Your mother's disease was utterly untreatable. I can only hope she died without worry, without pain. A person's body can be physically locked up, but your mind is always free to go where it pleases. Father hopes you can still get some peace of mind in the situation. Stay warm, stay safe. Your father, Shin. Okay, so this is Wei's father's letter to Wei. Okay, very tragic. Eventually, mother still passed away. Father didn't take it well and had to take a break from his clinic work. His written words were spirited and calming. They supported me during my darkest days. A verdict from court. A torn piece of the verdict. This is what we had a read of with Ray. Cheng Minghui, district level educator, is found guilty with students, Wei, and others of collusion with communist forces. Cheng Minghui is to be put to death after the court's ruling. Wei Chung, that says Chung. Wei Ting pleads guilty to affiliation with communist forces, reading of prohibited texts with rebellious and corrupt thoughts. Will be sentenced to 15 years jail time. So either Wei he's either 30 or he's 25 or something like that. I don't know, but it's been quite some time. Yeah, 50. Yeah, so he's about 30 or 30 odd, maybe close to 30 or just over 30. I don't know. 15 years of my life were taken away by a piece of paper. I can still clearly remember when the military police came knocking and carried me off in front of my mother. Little did I know that was the last time I would see her face. Bloody hell. And yeah, we read this already. After being released from jail, I haven't had any contact with Miss Yin. I couldn't believe it at first, but I heard she had passed away abroad due to lung cancer. Like with my mother, only after seeing her ashes with my own eyes was I able to realize I had lost a familiar part of my heart forever. So he adored Miss Yin. Okay, I don't think he had feelings for her, but I'm guessing she was like a sister to him. You know, very, very tragic. And this was the note that we read. It doesn't matter what I was feeling back then, only pain and sadness remain. Alright, so let's go ahead and have a walk through the school. And if you remember, this is where we were sometime in the beginning of the game, and whenever we die, this is where we come to. Metal lodging for laborers. Alas, to be demolished. All to be demolished. I'll say the same thing over here. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and make our way up this hill. And look at who we encounter. Barred from the heavens and hampered from the underworld. Alone and wandering, forever she goes. Pitiful. So she's talking about Wei, this lady. Ray, sorry. Bloody hell. So there's not much else to explain. I've explained pretty much the whole story, and you can guess what happens in the story by now. But this here is coming up to the end of the game now, and we will get the credits rolling in a minute. The large banyan tree's been cut down. It's weathered the storm of generations, yet it fell under the sharp edge of human desire. Yep. Okay. And this is the auditorium. This part always gives me goosebumps. Time, it rots everything away. Even I cannot hide from it. At this point of the game, I just like to sit here as we wander to the school and just reflect on the game. I do it every time I play this game. It never changes. Composer, Wei Chung. Pretty sure he did the music. You are a genius, my dude. Absolute genius with the music. Now, I don't think there's anything to have a look at here. Yes, there's a whole bunch of graffiti on the walls here. This one says finger. There's a dick butt over there. I don't know why that's there, but it's there. I want to have a look at everything else. I really honestly don't think there's anything else to have a look at, but yeah. I still want to see it nonetheless. That thing over there looks like the character for Death. See, this is now barred off as well. This was the health center, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the classroom. This is Wei's classroom. So we need to go over here. As you can see, more graffiti over here, another dick butt, and it says bag, rape, or BG, whatever it says. Summer, it says dick over here. I don't know what it says in the background there. But, yeah. There's a pentagram over there as well. 2000. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and have a seat at our old desk. Desk. Bloody hell. This part is normally the part where I get like pretty emotional. And okay. Never fails to make me cry, that part. Oh, fucking hell. Anyways, guys, that's the end of Detention right there. That part there always makes me emotional because, you know, I can't really explain why it does, but just like, okay, wait. Fang Chung, you are a brilliant musician, my dude. I just want to say that. Absolutely amazing. But hearing the music, seeing Wei sit down, and him sitting across from Ray, everything coming like full circle, always gets me emotional. And there are very few games that have done that to me ever. And this is the main reason why I love this game, because it just invokes such emotion in me. And the story, everything that is compiled into this game has, it just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just amazing. Astounding game, brilliant game, flawless game. I don't think I'll ever play a game like this ever again. This is why this right now, in this very moment, has solidified this game as my favorite game of all time. Oh, sorry, favorite horror game of all time. But it's just, nothing else will come close to this. Right now, in this very moment, reflecting on everything, I've made that decision, that firm decision that this is now my favorite horror game of all time. I mean, I said that in the beginning, but it is just, right now, I'm declaring that my favorite. Okay, but before I end this, we're not done yet. We still need to go through and get the bad ending. So I'll show you guys that, and I'll cut to when we see the first like shadow version of Ray, and then I'll cut to when we get the bad ending. So I'll see you then. Okay, so here we are, guys. The first instance of questions that were asked by this version of Ray. Let's go ahead and talk to her. I really wish I could skip these. I am you. Ah! I am you, yet you are not me. It's the sin that makes you linger in this realm. Memories like mirrors reflecting the true likeness of your soul. In a world full of pain and suffering. Fang Shin, what do you fear the most? So, you know, like I said, this was the correct question, so I'm just going to go losing family. As you can see, no answer. So now we will get the bad ending. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut to when something is different, okay? And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay. So I just want to have a look around. And if I see nothing's changing, I'll just cut to when... I'll just cut to when we get to the end. Yeah, so as you can see, that I'm pretty sure that book burning scene is gone now as well. We didn't see any of it. We've seen all of this already, so... Okay. Yep. I've already read that. So, I don't think anything's gonna change. Like, nothing will be different from this point on. So, I'll just cut it to when we get to the end of this chapter again for the bad ending. So, I'll see you guys then. Okay, so, we are back here now. You know, since I know we're gonna get the bad ending already, you know, because like I said, if you answer one question wrong, then you still get the bad ending. So I just went and answered all of them incorrectly, you know, just so I can be sure. But I still know that if you answer one incorrectly, you still get the bad ending. Anyway, so we're here on this roof now. We're gonna, you know, have a look at Wei smoking a cigarette. There he is. Alright. Go through the door and we'll see how things are different now. Remember how I said when you get the good ending you'll find a paper plane here, and when you get the bad ending you'll be met here by this version of Ray. Memories are like a mirror. Memories are like a mirror reflecting the true likeness of your soul. Okay. And instead of one set of stairs over here, there would be like 3. As you can see. Maybe you still want to forget. Maybe you're still afraid. This is basically saying like, Ray is still unable to accept what she did. And that's why this is the bad ending. Because it's now a constant loop. There's an underground piece here. This looks awesome, by the way. Facing your own aspirations but not confessing the truth. I am you. Yet you are not me. And everything fades away. This part is freaky, by the way. It's terrifying. Have a look at all this. This is some brilliant art design right here. There's like a river of blood right here, like it was in the beginning of the game. There's dead bodies everywhere. And that's a corn song. Constantly cycling over and over with only the river Sanzu at the end of your journey. Yet the knot of sin still lies unsolved. The bridge leading to Parameter lies in... I don't know what that said. I wasn't fast enough to read. So the Requiem with a warm crescendo welcomes you once again. I'm pretty sure you can guess where this is going. Look at these eyes. And some really, really... what's the word to describe this? I wouldn't say like ambient, but it's like nerve-wracking music. Nerve-wracking and like gut-wrenching music, I would say. Okay, let's go ahead and go through the door. And head up on the stage. Back in the auditorium now. This part here is extremely disturbing, by the way. Look how she's walking up those stairs. Of course it decides to rain right now. And have a look at what we just got. It's a rope. Sin. Life ends, but sin is permanent. In silence, I await my curtain call. And again, I got goosebumps reading that. Quite fitting how it decides to rain, like fucking bucketing, right as this happens now. So, might not be able to hear me after this, guys. Sorry about that. What does this say? Nothing. So just drag and drop right there. Oh my goodness. And that is the end of Detention. So, we have now seen both the good ending and the bad ending. As you can see, that ending there we get because because of us answering the incorrect questions, not being able to see how Ray is, and so on. She's not able to move on, and she's constantly circling in like this limbo type thing. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it, but basically she's in this constant cycle wandering the school. So basically the entire game is what's going on with the bad ending. A constant loop, because she's already been dead, you know? And then when you get the good ending, she's finally able to move on and accept what she did. It's a really terrifying thing. So guys, all in all, this is a phenomenal game. I feel like it's a hidden gem, and I feel like a lot more people should know about this game. It is such an amazing game, and I highly recommend you guys play it. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. And I don't think else more to say. You guys know my stance toward this game. I love it to death, and I will always love it to death. Anyways, guys, that's it for Detention. This walkthrough for Detention. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a revisiting of Detention, and I'm so glad I did this. So thanks guys for watching this walkthrough, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.